Alright, so as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, I have this Vandoren Reed Resurfacer and reed stick. So I have some reeds that I almost specifically bought this for to treat, to see how this thing would treat these reeds and see if I can come up with some magic. So let's open this thing up here. Comes in a box like this, and voila, you get an instruction booklet on how to actually treat your reeds. This is a lot smaller than what I thought it would be. Either that or the people who demonstrated this had really small hands, which I don't. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so here is the reed in question. You can see I have this very specific mark that's here. I've had this reed for about a year now. I'm going to be using my Vandoren T6 gold-plated small chamber mouthpiece in conjunction with this reed. I'm going to play it first so that way you get an idea of what it sounds like, and then I'm going to treat it with this here. Okay, so with this reed, I can feel where its tendencies are, and it definitely needs some work. I am very confident with this reed on the gig, but I want to be able to fine tune it and make sure it is consistent every time. Now, I treated this reed with some hydrogen peroxide yesterday to make sure that it's good. So today I'm in that good spot, but it's not quite right yet. So let's bust this thing out. So this clear part, you're supposed to use that on the tip like this, and then just flatten it with the rest here. This is very conveniently sized to fit inside your case. You can see it leaves some marks there. This is also very easy to clean. The back of this, I haven't seen anybody actually use the back of this, but it's very, very flat. So even if you have some sandpaper, if you don't want to use this, you can lay some sandpaper here, and then you can adjust your reeds or even your mouthpiece the way that you want. This being really flat and smooth is very nice. However, up here where the Vandoren logo is, I can feel that there is some deviation in the size, so you probably want to stay away from this part up here and just use this. All right, let's check this out and see what we got. Alright, so another thing you can do is wet this. If your reed is sticking too much to it, you can wet it a little bit. Just have this little cap here with some water. I can wet this. And then I can put my reed back on here like this. And then go over this again, making sure to keep the tip away from the grain here. I can feel that this is smoother on the back here, so let's try this again. I can feel how it's getting easier to manage. Alright, so with this mouthpiece, after close inspection, I noticed that this table wasn't too flat. So let me show you what I did with this, because there was like this mark that was around this middle section here where you could clearly visibly see that this mouthpiece wasn't flat. Okay, so here is my Autolink Tone Edge hard rubber. This is the modern vintage, and I just picked up some of these D'Addario Select 3 soft reeds. These reeds are super hard. However, this mouthpiece is an 85 tip opening. This is the 5-star. So I want to check these reeds with this mouthpiece, and then if I'm having some reed issues, which I already know I have, I'm going to try using this thing to fix these reeds. Also, I'm going to use this reed stick because I haven't shown you that either. This reed stick has the same kind of grain consistency on the stick part as this tablet plate does on the grain part. So let's try that out. This is my best of bad reeds. I do have a ligature on the way for these type of Autolink style mouthpieces. So I'm going to be using a much better ligature for all of these very soon. Okay, I like what these reeds offer me, but to be perfectly honest, however these reeds are cut, however they're made, they're not my thing. But let's see what we can do to fix this reed enough to get it to where I could actually feel confident using it on a gig. I'll play it a little more before I work on it. I notice it's dying off a bit in the upper register. And in the lower register. So let me flatten this out and see what we got. Okay, on the back of these, I can feel how this D'Addario Select Jazz, like it's grainy. It's not inked on here, so I don't know if that's going to interfere with me being able to flatten this reed the way I want to. I might just have to use sandpaper the way I'm used to doing. All right, let's try it and see what we got. All right, right, the immediate thing I noticed is that it's a lot more consistent along the top and the bottom. So let's play a little more. Okay, very consistent after having used that. Okay, so I'm gonna bust out this reed stick. And on page 8, they even talk about using the back of the reed resurfacer when you use the reed stick to get a more balanced type of adjustment on your reed. So let's do that. All right, so I'm gonna adjust the sides of this reed. I'm gonna do it the way it says it here. If you adjust the sides of the reeds, you can get it to speak easier. And just by looking at this reed, I can tell that one side even looks thicker than the other. So let's bust this thing out and see what we got. All right, I noticed an immediate difference, and to be honest, I'm sold with this thing. I'm really glad that I bought this, and all it takes is just some practice. You can take out your old reeds that didn't play and just experiment and see what you can come up with. My advice to you is to take some notes on what you're doing to those reeds. Make sure you list what kind of problems you have with those reeds and what it is you're trying to fix. This is very handy. Also, there's just tons of information on what to do to reeds on the internet in order to get them to play the way you want. But having something this convenient and compact in conjunction with this reed stick is really, really handy, and it's not that expensive either. So let's play some more.